Hi, I'm Brad Rohrs, president of the Rohrs team, and this video has been titled Judging a Book by Its Cover. And what I mean by that is, how do we make quick assessments of real estate without having to go through an inspector? How do I get a good feel to know whether this house is something that's worth us considering or it's a piece of junk? And the way I do it, as the video title has said, is I judge a book by its cover. And after showing properties for 20 years and seeing probably close to 10,000 different houses, can't believe the number's so high, I found that these tips really do work pretty well. The first thing is, when I'm making an approach of a property, I'm checking out two things. I'm looking at the condition of the gutters, and I'm looking at the condition of the front door. So in my experience, if gutters are overflowing, if you see leaves popping out from it, the people don't take very good care of their roof, and most likely there's a lot of deferred maintenance in that area. And when I get to the door, if I notice the door is scratched up, it's kicked in, if it hasn't been painted in a while, and I go and I reach for the door handle, I'm trying to unlock it, and I've got to struggle with it, it's a pretty good sign that the individuals who've been occupying the property haven't put too much care into maintenance. Now, once I've gone inside, I sort of notice the little fits and finishes that might get overlooked. So I'm looking at things like the electrical outlets. Are they on straight? When they painted the house, did they paint over the outlets, or did they take the time to take the outlets off and put them on? A small thing like that tells me a lot about how the owner has taken care of the property and the care that the contractors have made while they were doing any renovations inside. And the next thing that I'll do, really before I do anything else, is I'm making a beeline downstairs to check out the HVAC unit, because I know that that can be anywhere between $10,000 and $20,000 depending on the size of the house if the HVAC hasn't been taken care of, and perhaps it's due for replacement earlier than expected. So what am I looking for in the HVAC? Well, first off, I want to see what the age is. Secondly, I want to open up the filter and see if they've actually changed it. You see, when you open up a filter and you pull it up and there's this, oh my gosh, you almost want to sneeze because there's so much junk on it, you can assume that HVAC has been working overtime and it really hasn't been maintained that well. And usually right next to the HVAC unit is going to be the hot water heater. Now, I got a rule of thumb. If it looks old, if it looks bad, it is bad. So any sign of rust on on a hot water heater, I'm just assigning $1,500 to $2,000 in my head, because I know that unit most likely doesn't have a long time left on this earth. Then the next thing I'm going to focus on in the property is I'm checking out the windows. And this just takes a few seconds. It's kind of like looking left and looking right before you cross the street. It only takes a little bit of time, but it can save your butt in many ways. So what I'm going to look at, make sure all the windows are opening and closing well, make sure that nothing's fogged, there's not cracks in any of the windows, because I've found that when one window is going bad, probably a lot of them are pretty close behind. And then lastly, when I get outside, I want to check the landscaping out. I'm going to see if there's any sign of water that's been pooling, because landscaping is something that we can easily overlook, but a yard that's kind of going bad that maybe is retaining water can be a 5-figure renovation. Now, all of the stuff that I've described does not take the place of having a good home inspection, but within 5 to 10 minutes, I can have a really good idea on what the overall condition of the property is. And that's how I judge a book by its cover, and it's how I don't waste my time pursuing properties that would just be failed when it came to inspection time. So I'm Brad Rohrs from the Rohrs team. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of insight. And if you have any questions, always check us out on our website, rohrsteam.com.